everyone, and welcome to another APT and Cybersecurity LinkedIn live event. I'm Alex Mavro, and joining me as a co-host is Aaron Stilwell. In a field where threats evolve faster than any single organization can respond, cybersecurity depends on more than technology. It depends on people who are willing to share what works, discuss what fails, and make practical knowledge accessible to others. Our guest today has built his career around that belief. Wojciech Ciemski brings experience across Linux administration, security auditing, penetration testing, security leadership, writing, and education. As the founder of Security Bez Tabu, please correct me if I say something wrong over there, Wojciech. Security without taboo.
Yes.
He has created a community focused
Bez Tabu or Security Beyond Taboos is the two pretty good names for my projects.
Okay. He has created a community focused on honest, practical cybersecurity education without the marketing noisy. Through his training, technical content, books, mentoring, and public speaking, he has helped thousands of people turn complex security concepts into skills they can actually use. Today, we will explore community-driven security, the value and limits of open knowledge, and how trusted community can make the entire profession stronger. Wojciech, welcome to the event. And I would like to start with the first question. Cybersecurity is supposed to be a profession built around sharing intelligence and helping others defend themselves. Yet knowledge is still frequently siloed, commercialized, or closely guarded. Why is community-driven security so difficult to achieve in practice?
Thanks for a great question. I think that security is an additional level from our existence experience. So if you are sysadmin, if you want to go to the cybersecurity, you would know the additional level about security and what is the kind of problems you can meet or meeting in your area, and you should know about what could go wrong in your field of expertise. So I think that is the range area of cybersecurity. We should don't feel or trust or and probably miss the word, or we should know it's just the different level of knowledge. It should be the next level, our current knowledge. So if you are sysadmin, probably the cybersecurity should be the level sysadmins can go wrong or everything. Everything. If you are a application programmist, what could go wrong when we check your application, etc. I think that be describe of what cybersecurity is now.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Your career has taken you from Linux administration through auditing, penetration testing, security leadership, and education. How has that journey shaped the way you explain cybersecurity today?
I think cybersecurity is, from my perspective, should be from two different levels. from my level and from my journey, it should be my expertise or my experience from service desk, help desk, support, and how things can go wrong, or how much how much can people from my level can go mistakes, and cybersecurity is answer for this level of mistakes. How many or how much mistakes we can do, and cybersecurity is answer for these mistakes. Okay, if the administrator, programmer, etc. could do mistakes, how can we prevent from that? And also the second level is, okay, we are the company who have some kind of appetite of risk, and how much is of risk can we secure to be sure our secure level is enough for our company. And I think that will be the answer for that question.
Thank you for the info. The name Security Bez Tabu or Security Without Taboo suggests a willingness to address uncomfortable subjects directly. What does the cybersecurity industry still avoid discussing honestly?
That's a great question. I think the cybersecurity field is for now thinking about level that we are very the same some level, not the same, some level that some companies said that we are secure enough. That's all. For example, security event management system, CM or XDR, or I know this level, and that's enough. We are compliant, or for example, compliant to NIS2 or ISO 27001, and we are secure enough. I hope probably every person that's working in cybersecurity said that there is no secure enough level. But from my perspective, for business perspective, there is a lot of people who say we are secure enough.
Okay, thank you. You have worked both as a security leader responsible for protecting an organization and as an educator encouraging people to share knowledge openly. Where those two roles pull you in opposite directions?
That's great questions. I didn't know where I could just
We're throwing you hard questions here. I'm sorry.
There's a hard question, but there is no the moment when I just pick the moment and here we are. But I think there is the the part when I see, and probably only more than one I could see when is the for business there is the part And for the community, there is another part. Because from business, okay, business needs just to be sure. Business will pay to be sure that the moment when you come to their business will be secure enough. And also the community wanted to be as cheap as possible. There is no big sword because there is some people who just wanted to be as cheap as possible. There is some people who just wanted to be sure every dollar as good as possible to be sure that they got the best knowledge. I think I can't just choose the moment for also be for the community and for the business. So I think that for business is the price, but for the community it will be for probably when I publish my over 10 laboratory. I think so. I hope so. I think. When I try to teach people about OWASP top 10, whatever your scale of say, can jump just labs.security.com and you just go your journey as you can go by BSCP or etc. I just didn't know the exactly address for that. But I think for now we have a bigger problem. Because if you ask me, my moment, okay, not a problem. I think it will be bigger problem for the whole world because for now, okay, some junior people have a struggle to get experience to cybersecurity specialist, okay, and I think in next 5 or years we have to be what people could be senior or mid-level in cybersecurity, because for now people need experience. How they need get to experience? Probably from some companies. Okay, we know that mid and senior levels people just use AI. Okay,
Yeah.
I also use AI. But if they don't get experience, who will be next mid or level people 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, indeed.
I hope
I understand what you
some
mean.
people from my side or from my platform, I hope so, but probably the future could not be right as I hope so.
Wojciech, do you think, Wojciech, do you think the reason for that is just companies wanting to reduce costs and for the
Of
lack
course,
in
yes.
training and yeah.
You know, there's a double sword because from
Yeah.
one side, as I make money, I want to be cheap as possible, to spend as less as possible. Of course, awesome.
Of
I
course.
understand
Yeah.
that. And people just want to hire seniors who could use AI or mid-level specialists who could use AI, of course. But from the other side, there is some junior or some people who just can use AI, but they don't have experience. We need
Yeah.
us. I think that I am talking about not only community but also the mid-level companies. We need to hire juniors because
Of course.
we want
Yeah, your
with the
juniors become your managers, become your executives.
yes, and
Yeah.
this the normal states of the states of mind of states of.
Yeah.
But today, when we have AI or LLMs or can call it anything, could be a problem. Not now, but in next or 20 years from now.
Can I ask you something? Let's switch a little bit to kind of the limits of open knowledge. All right. And my first question
Okay.
about that is where should the line be drawn between sharing knowledge that helps defenders and publishing details that could make an attacker's job easier?
That's a because
Yes.
I think the line couldn't be drawn that straight because every company has their own decisions. And from one perspective, from my own perspective, I think that should be as available as possible. And that's utopia. That sounds great. Okay. I
Yeah.
think that's sounds great as well and also impossible. And also I understand that some people and also some kind of attackers don't be clear. They play dirty. I'm probably I'm not probably. I hear that even if I hear about some kind of breach, they are done breaches. They are just information that should be disturbing for Polish people, European, and also
Yeah.
some uh, problems. For example, like Żabka from today and yesterday. That okay, that's some serious kind of stuff, but we need to just clarify and to think: is this really bother me as a person, as a user, as a security specialist? If there is kind of role that is different kind of thing. When I think about Żabka right now, for me as a security specialist, still when I think about yes, it's middle risk, and I should think about this when I just think about this because I probably know am I use Żabka in past 3 months or not, and there is all of stuff, especially when we think about and probably not positive stuff to think that we as just be not sure, just be okay with breaches every day just for different companies. Just think that okay, that's
Yeah, we take it for granted at this point.
great. Or yes, we get them for granted. Some
Yeah.
firms, some companies just breaches and okay, there is our
Yeah.
day after day. So there is our daily things of stuff. That's okay. breaches, some companies don't. Some companies pretend breaches, some companies don't pretend.
It's funny that actually, Wojciech, that was going to be my exact next question I was going to ask you. Was, organizations frequently keep the lessons from incidents confidential, right? How can the wider security community learn when the most valuable failures are rarely discussed publicly?
I think that's utopia. I think that
Yeah.
every company should just think about future and don't think about today, and just that even if somebody or someone just happen, and probably, sorry for the words, somebody just fucked. They just inform their customers, and I really hope that will be the best way just to inform that,
Yeah.
in fact, there this kind of margins just breached. We will choose or try our best to prevent that, but probably we can't, etc., etc., and all kind of. But no, from the other side, I know that not every company side, because I have also the wife, and my wife is not interested about cybersecurity. She is interested about,
Either is mine.
okay, she got information that
Yep.
some kind of she's information is breached. Probably she would change. Probably don't know, but that will be our everyday carry, that we just probably change our password and probably just check is everything goes smooth, or maybe something goes wrong. Change maybe password, maybe look for our login, etc. That was my biggest dream in Poland and probably in the world. I hope that will be probably the greatest points of our conversation today. I can say, as Wendell, I have a dream.
I have one more question before we move kind of in our next segment, which I'm going to have Alex cover, and we're going to talk about building a community people can trust, right? My last question is, what categories of cybersecurity knowledge should always remain openly accessible, regardless of your employer, location, education, or the ability to pay?
I think the best way to teach people about cybersecurity will be basics, because it will be the
Yes.
same step when I look for myself 5 or 10 years before. I think the basics will be the best way to learn next generation about cybersecurity. The network, how system works, about how information works, because a lot of people want to have their own shop or their own website in the internet. So the base will always the best way to teach people. And I believe in that, and I also have the greatest results in my career and in my just to my career to just to teach people about basics. And I think the basics, because we all as a specialist, have a problem that we probably think and some stuff. Probably we think that every people have knowledge about the same stuff we have in mind. But the truth is that people from basics, or maybe people don't know the basics. Because cybersecurity is specialization stuff, okay? There is no common people just think I should go to cybersecurity. Maybe nowadays, but before or probably not. Cybersecurity is the next level of administration, web application, programming, all that stuff. So I think people the basics. Maybe I
Thank you for the
That was good. Thank you.
the broad information. Over here, cybersecurity communities can become competitive, as far as we know, territorial or dismissive toward newcomers. Why does gatekeeping remain such a persistent problem in the profession?
I can say from the Polish community, okay? Because I have experienced that the Polish key, of course, can be really, really helpful and also really just make you go down. Probably, I think there is some just people and people stuff. I think this will be the best way to describe it, because if you just don't call yourself an expert and don't call yourself, there's normal people who will just help you, etc. Send you your stuff, etc. But when you want to call yourself anything, that would be dangerous. And I really try to call everyone just dangerous, because I understand that there are some kind of people that they are just nervous, aware, or just fucked up, that some kind of people just call themselves an expert, or then they want to just share their opinion. Okay, there is one side of the middle, one double-edged sword, and one side of the sword in English. But the other side, there is a lot of people who just want to share their knowledge. And I believe, and from my experience, that if you are a newcomer who want to get knowledge, you probably, okay, I can just welcome you to Security Bez Tabu. Okay, there is one way. Probably in Polish community there is not a hidden wiki. Okay, there is a second way. Probably there is some kind of knowledge group. But want to ask anything, I probably think that will be the best way just to ask myself via LinkedIn. I will just send you to the best group as possible, just to be sure that you will be not. I will never ever know how to how to pronounce in Polish, but I want to probably just say there are people that hear us now. If you want to become stronger and stronger in cybersecurity, just call me, okay? I probably try my best. Which will be the bright in cybersecurity community, and that's my mission. Because I don't think ever that I will be the brightest star in T. I just wanted to be the brightest ram topic, the person who could just, put the blame under the others, just to be sure that others could be even more bright than me. I try to describe it as best as possible, but I think that you do have just great describe it.
When inaccurate security information is shared by someone with a large audience, how should educators and community leaders respond without creating more noisy or unnecessary conflict?
That's a great question. I think that there is no question about cybersecurity, about ourselves as a people. I think there's a question about how can I, as the creator, could be less and less noise and couldn't just put myself at the first and think about learn. There's different kind of questions, and I think when we decide from my side, when I decide could be the teacher or anything that could just create the impact anyone else, I think that I should first thought should be about what can I bring to the table for this particular reader, hearer, watcher. Because I think that's, I understand that the people who are the noisiest aren't the bright, but also they have their own purpose. They should ask people to cybersecurity as possible. These people should decide where they can go anyway. Sorry for probably poor English, but I think this is the best way I can describe it.
Okay, thank you. Security Bez Tabu serves people with very different levels of experience. How do you maintain technical credibility while still making the community accessible to beginners?
I think there is just a choice, okay? Because my choice to create security beyond taboos, security bez taboos, you can choose if you choose a Polish version or English version. There is choose that I can create the language, not just for the people, for that, just for people like myself, 3 to 5 or even 10 years ago. Maybe some kind of narcissistic things, okay, I understand that, but it's some information for people who was me 5 or 10 years ago. So I created the source of knowledge about cybersecurity, or about cybersecurity news, about cybersecurity things, like, for example, Fable 5, and how we should think about topic LLMs like Fable 5, or what we should think about some kind of reports, etc. Just for people not on my level, because here I am. I am happy about where I today, but I'm doing this just for people like me 5 or 10 years ago, and that's create the community about this. Maybe it's not popular opinion. Sorry, I don't think that, but I think that's a real value, because when I myself 10 years ago, there is a place about security in Poland. There's, of course, free places, niebezpieczni, zaufana trzecia strona, and Sekurak. Okay, it sounds really Polish. Okay, amazing, because there is so news source of knowledge, and I'm creating just
And it's funny.
myself.
I was actually going to walk into that. So our next segment kind of covers a little bit about turning knowledge into practical skills, right? And there is a lot of free cybersecurity content out there, right? And yet people still seem to struggle to become job ready. Where's the disconnect in that?
I think there is two sides of questions, because there is some people who just started to work, okay, and they just, I want to be security specialist. Okay, that's possible. That is a freaking hard way to go to. Okay, because normally, and probably the answer was, you could be the sysadmin, the etc. help desk specialist, and you just add cybersecurity level to your actual knowledge, to your actual experience, and then not easy but possible to get security, because in Poland is some kind of job that you are like a help desk but in cybersecurity. If the start of the day you started the audit, and the end of the day you started the pen testing job, okay, and you just address everything the same manager, okay. Also, there is some problems when you just the admin or programmer, and you would like to medium or senior. You also, you can name the problem that your job, your level of experience have a struggle, but you could name the cybersecurity. Also, you have AI problem. I need to mention that, because probably for now we could address the junior level of cybersecurity just for the AI, just for ChatGPT, Anthropic, etc. You can just imagine, just think. But in next 10, 20 or 30 years, who could be the senior when today junior or entry security job, the companies just name, okay, just place this assignments, these kind of jobs.
Well, that is a constant issue with almost everyone we talk about, is the fear that AI is going to
Yes,
start
but
taking these cybersecurity
I
jobs.
think that I will just do the solve for this problems, okay?
Yeah.
Solution. That will be my life, I think. It's probably worship me for resolution for these
I
problems.
think a lot of people agree. I think a lot of people agree with you on that one. It's a scary problem right now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because what happens is if they feel like there's not an opportunity for them, then you're going to have the lack of the incoming pool coming in. If they're thinking to themselves going, all right, AI is going to take this job, and then there's people who are typically starting off and entering the pool and gaming those numbers into cybersecurity. If they're not there, you have an issue there.
I think there is probably the bigger and the bigger goal for the people, because five need to do the work, but for now we you just need to do the work, but probably we need to be proactive. You need to be, you
Yes.
looking for a job and say, oh, do this project, this, and probably, okay, I understand that cybersecurity job isn't for everyone, and there is some kind of percent. Okay, I understand that, but I know that tax is a percent from percent. So you have percent is cybersecurity. There is some people who said will be in cybersecurity. Then we take percent. We from this kind of group of people that will say, "Oh, do some, we something about defensive security or offensive security or anything that will help our future specialists to be sure that they will be a replacement." I hope so in Poland, but I know that Europe has something about 40,000. 40,000. We will just now say about, some people, some 100 people. We have about some who will also able just think abstract, like D&D players who will think abstract, but also about people who will just think abstract and wanted to do the work, and that's I
Yeah.
think will be a problem next 10 or 20 years.
Because they're utilizing too much on AI to do the abstract thinking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wojciech, you mentioned about people. People often expect educators and community leaders to continuously produce free content. What does that expectation misunderstand about the work required behind the scenes?
That's the questions, and I think that people do not understand how much more you need to put behind the scene.
Yeah.
For example, my academy, not only my academy, because I just offer free courses, but also when I think about labs, my thousands of views, boo-boo, awesome, okay, but from thousands of views, there is something about 70s of people who was registered and confirm the registers, because of course I have some hundred of registered people. Okay, awesome. But there is something about 70s of registered people for my free apps for that they teach about our recent research just that in for pretty expensive courses. 30% people means that 60% didn't even open it. Just crazy. From my perspective, I'm not, I hope I would love to say that I'm from from a good home. Okay, I'm from the Polish home that very doesn't matter. I have the money to put everything. 60% of people who just bought my courses didn't even open it. Just free will the same amount. 60 people registered, confirmed. For now, probably 70 people just registered free of us top 10 labs from my side, from probably 2 or 3. I just want to believe that not should be free. I wanted that deeply. If you, any people who watch this and to watch before that, I, Wojciech, wanted to deliver you free knowledge.
Okay.
And 60% of I think some kind of level of knowledge free. After that, I see the numbers, and I think that okay, it should be free, but better works if cost and $1, because then people commitment they have willing to confirm, to fulfill plan for them. And it's tough, I might say, because from my perspective, I wanted to create everything free. I don't want security taboos on Security Bez Tabu from just one year. Really, I create this kind of stuff from probably something about 5 years earlier. I talk about administration work. Hear that probably for you are and Alexander, but people need to pay anything to be sure that they get from our plan for our courses, from our
Okay. Because we don't have too much time, I think we have less than 10 minutes. At what point can vendor sponsorship or commercial involvement begin to undermine the independence and trust of a security community?
I think they can do that via open source or any community they just use, and I think they will be get 10 times more than as they just go just put into. But I understand that, if they are just didn't see clear numbers, just walking around and just looking for what they but I think there is an answer for now. Microsoft knows from a lot of years before that they need to go and effort into Ubuntu or other Linux to be sure that people wanted Linux other companies they need or right probably to go into open source, just open.
Okay. Aaron, do you have any other questions? I know we don't have too much
this
time.
is actually probably a good time, Wojciech, if you kind of want to talk about, definitely promote your website, kind of what you're doing. We'd love to kind of hear that from you and where people can reach you and stuff like that.
Wojciech, you still there?
I think we might have gone.
Okay.
Wojciech?
So I hope
Okay, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Reach me via link, or you could just, check my website. Yes, I'm still.
Okay.
Yes,
So
can
can
hear
you
you.
tell us? Can you tell us?
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I think there's a bit of delay between you and us. Can you share us your website or whatever, your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, I think I think he's frozen.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
We lost him.